unbeaten teams in the SEC. The three-time national champions, the Florida Gators, and the Auburn Tigers. Hi everybody, I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. We're glad you joined us on this very special Link to Pink night here in Gainesville. It's going to be a great competition. Now let's talk about what these two teams have on their plate tonight. Now both of them undefeated, so one team is going to go home with their first loss in the conference this year.
Well, there's that. But also, I was a little concerned only because of what time of the season this is. This is a time when you could really feel the fatigue. There's still a lot of hard work going on in training, trying to make big improvements, and then beginning to fine-tune, thinking ahead to the postseason. That said, I was really excited to see the level of energy from both teams in the warm-ups. I think they're ready to go after it.
Now, Florida, of course, is our host, and they have been spectacular on a couple of events. They're ranked second in the country in team ranking so far.
Yes, but they are number one on the uneven bars. They're number one on beams, number two on floor. Now, vault is where they can improve, and that's what I believe they're going to zero in on at this competition, to really dial in those vaults.
Their season summary so far, as you mentioned, top ranked on bars and beam. They could use some improvement on vault. They recorded a spectacular 49-7-2-5 in a very high-scoring meet at the Oklahoma Sooners last week in Norman, a spectacular score there. And then Trinity Thomas, we'll talk a lot about her, this freshman phenom. She's already had an important impact on this team for the Gators. Now for the Auburn Tigers, they are undefeated, and yet, as you say, they've not necessarily had their best meet of the year, have they?
Do you remember back when we referred to them as the little engine that could? Well, they're still that, but more. I think they've got a bigger engine, and just being undefeated will drive the energy in this competition. They could take advantage of being on the floor with Florida, who's higher ranked, their quality of gymnastics, and they haven't yet put together a complete meet. This is the perfect opportunity to do it.
Undefeated on the season. These are the only two teams in the conference that are such. Ranks 9th and 7th on vault and bars, but you can see they could use some improvement on floor exercise. Auburn has notched 3 top 10 wins, including beating Georgia in Athens for their first time in school history last week. And then we'll spend some time talking about their freshman phenom, Darian Goburn, 2-time SEC Freshman of the Week. Tonight we'll also be spending some time focusing on these outstanding freshmen that are really electrifying collegiate gymnastics this year, and we'll see Darian Goburn and Trinity Thomas. We'll spend some time talking about Alicia Boren's evolution. It's so exciting to see this young lady. We have followed her progress from freshman year to her senior year, and she's doing superbly this year. And then we'll talk about the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation, Jacqueline Murphy and Bailey Warner. We'll talk about their special bond. It's a great night, and we're glad you're joining us for our coverage. As we mentioned, tonight is Florida's 13th annual Gator Link to Pink meet. The team colors for both of these teams are set aside as they all wear pink to show their support for the breast cancer fight. The group of survivors who attend this event has grown each year. It's now up to 80 people, breast cancer survivors here. Let's go down to our PA announcer for the introductions, Tom Collette.
Ashley Smith, a senior from Huntersville, North Carolina. Sam Serio, a senior from Cypress, Texas. Taylor Krippner, a senior from Denton, Texas. Abby Millay, a sophomore from Mobile, Alabama. Allie Riddle, a junior from Jacksonville, Florida. Emma Slappy, a sophomore from Tyler, Texas. Drew Watson, a junior from San Antonio, Texas. Gracie Day, a freshman from Port Orange, Florida. Sabrina Cheney, a freshman from Sarasota, Florida. Darian Goburn, a junior from Boone, North Carolina. Katie Becker, a junior from Macugny, Pennsylvania. Meredith Sylvia, a junior from Cornelius, North Carolina. Kendall Moss, a sophomore from Aurora, Colorado. Jada Glenn, a junior from Plano, Texas. Skylar Shepard, and a senior from Enterprise, Alabama, Miracle Phillips. The assistant coaches for the Tigers are Ashley Johnston and Kurt Hettinger, and the head coach for Auburn University, Jeff Graba. Come the Gators. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on your feet, let's meet your Florida Gators. A freshman from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Leah Clapper. A freshman from Claremont, Sydney Johnson Sharp. A freshman from Landover, Maryland, Nia Reed. A freshman from Columbus, Georgia, Savannah Shaner. A freshman from Tampa, Hallie Taylor. A freshman from York, Pennsylvania, Trinity Thomas. A sophomore from Dallas, Texas, two-time All-American, reigning SEC champion on beam and world champion, Alyssa Bauman. A sophomore from Bayville, New Jersey, Jasmine Bober. A sophomore from Marietta, Georgia, Megan Skaggs. A junior from Fort Lauderdale, Sierra Alexander. A junior from Waterdown, Ontario, Canada, Megan Chan. A junior from Urbandale, Iowa, three-time All-American, Rachel Gowie. A junior from Hamilton, Ohio, four-time All-American, Amelia Huntley. A senior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, 14-time All-American, reigning SEC champion on the floor, Alicia Boren. A senior from Orlando, Amanda Cheney. And an honorary team member from Lawrenceville, Georgia, Bailey Warner. The Gators are coached by Owen Field and Adrian Burde. And ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of your University of Florida Gators, Jenny Rowland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats. and join in the singing of our national anthem. Signed this evening for the hearing impaired by members of the Signing Gators, and performed tonight by David Polino.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's Friday Night Heights with the Florida Gators hosting the Auburn Tigers. When we come back on the SEC Network live at 7 p.m. Eastern, tune in for an exciting matchup of the only two remaining undefeated teams in the SEC. It's going to be great tonight. We hope you join us on the SEC Network at 7 Eastern live. Welcome to Friday Night Heights, presented by Bell. We're inside the Exact Tech Arena at the Stephen C. O'Connell Center on the campus of the University of Florida for our live SEC Network coverage of women's collegiate gymnastics. Tonight, we feature a matchup of the only two remaining undefeated teams in the SEC. There is Jenny Rowland in her 4th year at Florida and Jeff Graba in his 9th year at Auburn. But tonight's meet also features two of the most electrifying freshman gymnasts in the country. And we're talking, of course, about Florida's Trinity Thomas and Auburn's Darian Goburn, Kathy.
And it's hard to say exactly why stars emerge the way they do. There's just something special. Yes, a high quality of gymnastics, lots of difficulty, but they allow their personality, that inner light. They can just turn it on and send it out to the universe and demand people to watch.
And the vaulters are ready to go. I'm Mark Connor, along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark. We had a late change. Amanda Chaney was supposed to lead off for Florida in vault, but at the last minute, they switched it out and put in junior Sierra Alexander.
And Bart, this is a huge test for Florida. This is the one event they just haven't been able to nail down. They haven't been able to go big and do all the fine-tuning, get those landings. This is an opportunity to see if they can raise the level on this event.
They're ranked in the top 2 in nearly every event in the country except this one where they're ranked 10.
This is a huge Yurchenko full if she can control it.
Much better.
Much, much better. The height and distance are there. The layout position was pretty good in the air. The best part was the dynamics of the vault. So check this out. Little legs in the pre-flight, little form, but gosh, 5.5 feet over the table. Look at the distance way out there. Just a hop on that landing.
Sierra Alexander from Fort Lauderdale had come back from a torn Achilles tendon a little bit more than a year ago. Now there's the lineup for Auburn on the bars you see on the right side of your screen. And sophomore all-arounder Drew Rotson will get the leadoff spot here.
She is so strong on every event. Look at her tight positions, her form in the air. Locks out those handstand positions. Good transition to the low bar. Those judges are sitting right on the side, so they've got a bird's eye view of those handstands. Might have been a little bit short on that final handstand. A full out. Pretty good on finding that landing. Nice start for Auburn.
Talk about national rankings. This is their best event in terms of national ranking. Currently 7th in the country. They had a 49-3 last week without Abby Millay, one of their stars.
There's her transition move. Pretty good job of hitting that handstand. A little bit of feet here and there. Watch this. Full twisting double back. Gave a little bit in the knees. Just slightly mushy on that landing.
Amelia Hundley, the junior from Hamilton, Ohio, will be set to go in the vault. Scores coming in for Sierra Alexander, 9.775.
It was exciting to see Amelia throw a 1.5, which is a 10-0 start value vault in the warm-ups. They're not going to do it in the meet. Still playing it safe. With a full. That's a 9.95. Oh! Unfortunately, that is a big deduction. It's almost as if she held back, had a little bit of an angle in her shoulders, which makes it really difficult to block off the table. Watch right here. You got to get those arms back. And she was below the level of the table, had to pike down and really mushy on that landing.
They're expecting that the junior, Amelia Hundley, will do the all-around for the first time tonight this season. And so that's the first of 4 events for her. We go back to the bars. Senior Taylor Krippner will go. Drew Watson, her score is 9.875. Great start for the visiting Auburn Tigers.
Taylor had shoulder surgery back in April of 2017, and ever since then they've really focused on quality over quantity in training, which really helps her focus on the details, like that landing. Really well done. That was the highlight of the routine. Exclamation mark. Love to see the form, the height, good amplitude, and dynamics on this half and half out. Look how she keeps the toes pointed throughout the entire skill and shows off that stuff.
Based on experience, it's one of the events where Auburn is expected to be the most consistent. Now, here is Nia Reed, the freshman from Landover, Maryland. We'll be talking all night about the freshmen at Florida. They have an incredible freshman class of 6 young ladies that are contributing right off the bat, Kathy.
And their next 4 vaulters are doing a 1.5 twist, that 10-0 start value. They need a big vault here. Good speed, nice block, little bit flat, but I like that she found that landing. She hopped forward, but much better than previous meets. They want to balance out the height and the distance because you need both to score big. Pretty good height, about 4.5 feet above the table, and finishes up with great distance, a little more distance than height.
They'll need that score from her because Amelia Hundley before her had a 9.65, so the freshman Nia Reed does her part in the vault lineup for the Gators. Back to the bars now. We talked at the top of the show about these electrifying freshmen. Well, this is our first look at Darian Goburn from Sarasota, Florida.
And what to look forward to in this routine is the amplitude and the connection of 2 difficult skills. A Tkachev, the reverse heck, and she'll go right into a pack salto. It comes at the top, right here after the pirouette. There's a big reverse heck. Travels back down to the low bar with a pack salto. Much better form than in warm-ups. I love that she's really trying to get those legs together. Trying to keep those toes pointed throughout. Little short on the final handstand. Big dismount, half in, half out. Fantastic position in the air. Notice she hit that release point perfectly. A great dismount is going to look like it freezes in space. Look at the height, 2.5 feet above the bar. Worked hard on keeping those toes pointed. And check this out, beautiful shape in the air. It just freezes up above the bar so she can see the landing before she attacks it.
She was coming after Taylor Krippner, notched a 9.85. We go back to vault now for Florida. Nia Reed had a 9.85. This is Savannah Shane here, another freshman.
And another Yurchenko 1.5, 10-0 start value, and a big ball.
Oh.
Huge. That's what they're looking for. Whatever she's got, she needs to rub off on everyone else in the lineup because she still attacked a big vault. So she got the amplitude, showed it off in the air. Very good height, 4.5 feet up. Good balance with the landing and just a micro hop on the landing. Now keep in mind, we're watching slow motion. Judges have to see it in real time, fast motion.
A freshman from Columbus, Georgia, doing her part. Back to the bars now. Samantha Serio coming after Darian Goburn in 9.875.
What a great combination. That clear hip into the Higgins roll to that eagle grip before her release move. Love the originality of the combination. You don't see it often. Full pirouette, sets up the dismount. High tuck double back. Boy, she fought for that landing. I call that a falling stick. She was leaning back but trying to leave the feet on the floor.
Remind everybody what the rules in collegiate gymnastics dual beat competition is. There's 6 gymnasts per team on each event. The best 5 scores only on each of those events count towards the team total. The team with the highest cumulative score on all 4 events wins. And home order is vault, bars, beam, and floor. The away order is the opposite of that. Okay, Alicia Boren, the senior from Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, set to go now, coming after Savannah Shanier at a 9.9.
She is a quick twister. She can find the landing finally. She got it. Thank goodness she finally did a vault in competition that I've seen her do in warm-ups. She didn't hold back. She didn't get ahead of herself and think about the stick too soon. You got to hit the shape in the air, go big, then drop it in, and the landing will be there. Fantastic.
Assistant coaches, Adrian Burde, Owen Field, and of course head coach Jenny Rowland. Like that for senior Alicia Boren. Abby Millay now coming after Sam Serio had a 9.875.
I love the combination in this routine of really good form. Look at that. Perfect form throughout a big high-flying release loop. Nails those handstands, milks the positions, and adds the second release down to low bar. Showing off a great level of difficulty and finesse in this routine. Oh, little leg separation right there on top of that pirouette, but nailed the double back.
Abby Millay, the redshirt senior. It was 2 years ago at this meet here at Florida that she tore her ACL in the warm-ups for vault, so it's good to see her doing so well here.
You can see why these two teams are undefeated. They really attack every element in the routines.
We go back to vault. There is freshman Trinity Thomas. Now, Alicia Boren had a big 9.925 before her, and this could be huge, Kathy.
And if Trinity Thomas bottled the vault she did in warm-ups, it can be spectacular. Oh, not quite. She nailed it in the warm-ups. She went big, but unfortunately over-rotated a little bit. I think the judges will love the amplitude and the dynamics, but you've got to take the deduction on the landing. Love the stretch. Good tight body position, 4 feet high. Good distance. Love that the arms go out to the side, but that's a pretty big hop forward, so they'll have to take that deduction.
So a great rotation for the Florida Gators on the vault. That's what they were looking for. Improvement on that event where they're lowest ranked. Gracie Day will wrap it up for Auburn on the bar.
And I think you'll be able to tell she loves this event, loves to fly, really attacks these skills. The toe arms are beautiful. Tiny bit late on that pirouette, but beautiful. Gorgeous height on her Jaeger. Love that she shows off that toe point and an unusual dismount. Half in double front, so Arabian double front to finish off, just a little hop.
What consistent scores for Auburn on bars. All of their scores between 9.85 and 9.9.
Just love this. Does that half turn at the end of the giant, releases, double front.
And Alicia Boren been trying to put this vault down all season long, and finally at home, Kathy, she got one.
She sure did.
9.925 for the senior. Florida gets its senior season best on the vault in the first rotation. They're using those 10-0 start values.
You just took the word right out of my mouth. They're more evenly matched on vault with Florida here, so they could really take advantage if they can stick all their landings.
Miracle Phillips, a senior from Enterprise, Alabama, will lead them off. This is the first leadoff spot for her on vaulting this season.
Oh, it was a great landing. It wasn't quite high enough in the air, not huge amplitude, but when you finish a vault like that, wow.
And there is Alicia Boren. She gets the leadoff spot for Florida on the bars. And as I mentioned before the break, this is the #1 team in the country on this event.
Alicia has always been dynamic on this event, but she has really cleaned up her technique and her form. Again, I think it's part of the confidence and the calmness she has. She takes her time. She's patient to hit these positions, mark them, before moving on to the next. Good form throughout. Very nice straight arm work. Good bail to handstand. Really strong positions on every handstand and a double layout. Oh, she didn't need to pipe down. A very slight pipe calls that little half hop at the end. Judges sit right here, so you've got their view. She was slightly over. They may take a teeny bit, little sag at the back, but so slight. And we're looking at it in slow motion. But this was beautiful in the air. Didn't need that pike down. Had to slide those feet back just a bit.
Back to the vault now. Taylor Krippner. Miracle Phillips had a 9.775 to lead them off.
And Taylor is training a 1.5 here. She'll do the full. Very clean in the air, legs together. Too deep a knee bend on that landing. So a little bit mushy there, and then the hop back.
There's a young lady who came back from shoulder surgery, as you mentioned, in 2017. And they really try to focus, as you say, on quality instead of quantity.
Nice job getting those arms back, particularly considering she'd had shoulder surgery. And nice straight arms on the block.
Rachel Gowie will be set to go. Alicia Boren did her job, a 9.85 to start them off.
3 big skills in this routine. She does a big ray, the toe on, into the reverse hack. Only the right foot flexed right at the top of a release move, but check this out, hack salto down. Good job trying to keep those feet and ankles together. And try to keep the toes and the ankles glued together. Might have been a tad short, hard to say from this angle on that final handstand. Double layout, oh! She can't quite find that shape in the air right before the landing, so hard to find a stick.
And it's tough. I hate to see those landings when they look like their legs are locked out. Boy, that's dangerous sometimes.
You can tell she's trying to figure out how much or how little do I need to pipe down out of that shape.
A junior from Urbandale, Iowa, had an extensive elite career, and she's a 3-time All-American in college gymnastics. Taylor Krippner had a 9.8. That brings up Gracie Day. You see her average there.
Big 1.5, and you can see her gathering everything, every ounce of energy and power she has. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's too bad. She had a little bit of trouble in the warm-ups, really putting the full power and speed behind that vault. That's a fall, 0.5 of a point for the landing.
What do you think happened? It looked like she might have come on a little high onto the vault tape.
As I said, it was just a little underpowered, and notice she had the angle in her shoulders. So if you don't get those arms back fast and you don't have the power behind the vault, it's going to be underdone.
Now, this is where we bring up the point that 6 athletes compete. The best 5 scores count, so they can cover up for a mistake like that if everybody else is solid. Amelia Hunley, you see her bars average there, extremely impressive. Rachel Gowie had a 9.825.
And this routine is highlighted by the back and forth between high bar and low bar. Love the transitions. They're not just fun to watch, they're very difficult. Like this one, toe on here, toe on, step half, beautiful. Oh, a little bit of a muscle up on that last handstand, not bad, just I'm being picky. Half in, half out, legs stayed together, but she danced just a little bit on that landing. As I said, when she's just flying back and forth from bar to bar, she is racking up bonus points with these combinations and difficult skills. That's the most difficult in the routine. Nice in the air. I thought she'd have this landing. She did a little dance step, little 1-2 there. Tiny, but I think the judges saw it.
Here's Darian Goburn, freshman from Auburn.
She's pretty good at finding landings. Let's see if she can get it. Oh, not quite. Good control, but that step forward when it's that size will be at least a tenth of a point.
Gracie Day before her after that fall had only a 9.225, so they need 4 more scores.
Good height, almost 5 feet up. It was interesting, she was right on the end of the board on the takeoff of the round off, but got some good distance. She has a lot of power going forward. The horizontal direction of this vault was quite good.
We'll go back to bars now. This is Trinity Thomas, the freshman from York, Pennsylvania.
Check out this opening sequence. Love it. From low to high, right here, uprise into the clear hip. There's something a little bit different and good difficulty. Love that she has the finesse that she does with these difficult skills, because that's the challenge. You want to make them look easy, effortless. Don't let anyone catch you working.
That's a big score coming.
That's a huge one.
That was superb.
Because it wasn't just a stuck landing. She had lots of difficulty in this routine.
And great execution throughout, all the transitions.
And hit every single handstand, showed them off. Love this sequence right here. Boom. Right to handstand on top of the bar.
And she's coming after the 9-9 from Amelia Hundley.
2 release moves in it. A beautiful floaty double layout, and drops it in like a dart.
Wow. Expect a big score when we get back to bars. Drew Watson now for Auburn.
She has one of the best 1.5s on there too. Oh, too bad she couldn't get the landing. Loved the vault in the air.
Darian Goburn before her, a 9-9. Trinity Thomas over for Florida had a 9.95 for that outstanding bar routine. It's interesting because sometimes you see a 9.85 and you think a 9.95 was substantially better. She should get more than a tenth more, Kathy.
Well,
you want me to open that box?
Yeah, Pandora's box? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we need to see a little bit more separation because oftentimes the judges paint themselves into a corner a little bit.
What Megan Skaggs can do now for Florida.
Watch the big release move and counter swing after. She turns this over so beautifully, brings the legs together, and then goes right into the second release move down to low bar. Florida really is so good on this event. You can see why they're ranked number 1. They have difficulty, they have technique and precision. And good landings, too.
They really swing with confidence. Big swinging elements, don't they?
You want to see athletes rewarded when they have phenomenal technique. So that then if they have like this little tiny hop, it's a mistake, yes, but so minor, they should still score higher if another routine has built-in flaws.
I couldn't agree more, Kathy. Drew Watson had a 9.875. Jada Glenn now will wrap it up for the visiting Tigers on vault.
And she is a powerful specialist. The only event she does, she puts all she's got into this 1.5 twist. See if she can get the landing.
Oh,
no. Big, deep knee bend and a giant step forward.
So they already had a 9.225. We'll see they're going to have to count a lower than expected score. Now, Saturday at 8:30 p.m., we'll have another men's college basketball matchup for you right here on the SEC Network when Alabama takes on Vanderbilt from Nashville. You can also watch it on the ESPN app from anywhere. So a missed opportunity there to nail the final vault and get 5 good scores from Auburn. Remember, they led by 25 thousandths of a point coming into this final rotation. A good routine here from Savannah Shane here to put Florida back into the lead.
Almost took that handstand over. They'll take off with the sag of the back, but I'd give it back to her with that release move. That was huge. Big swing, big amplitude. above and beyond in certain areas of this routine. You want to see credit given for that, they'll have to take a deduction for that arched.
Oh, and a double front half.
Wow, double front half dismount. Fantastic landing. That's a big routine.
You know, Jenny Rowland told us the other day in the conference call, she said she may do a double front half sometime this season, but she pulled it out tonight.
Sometime is right now, and we are so lucky to see it. Love it. The double front was above the height of the bar as she went into the half twist.
And she's coming after the 9.875 for Savannah Shane here. We'll be back here to Florida, and boy, we have a special story to tell you. We'll talk about Jacqueline Murphy, the amazing young woman who's made it her mission to pair children with battling diseases with local sports teams. We got a fascinating story for you when we come back.
Bent legs, not showing full flexibility. They've got to get a little bit better at finding those ways to separate.
Now the regular season and the postseason rankings are based on your scoring averages, and so there are no incentives to keep the scores down. It just gets inflated, but it doesn't take away from the amazing athletic performances we're seeing from these young ladies. And by the time we get to the postseason, typically with 4 judges, the scores average out, and they're a lot more predictable, Kathy.
A lot of great information. Hope you didn't miss that double wolf turn, because that was beautiful at the start of this routine. And she shows off the position in the air. This is why Florida is ranked so high. #1 on beam and bars. Technically, they have, a little bit of a balance break there, and should have been a little higher, a little more amplitude. She might have held back just a little on that series. But they're very precise in their work. Very detail-oriented. They have good training to show off the elements of gymnastics that we need to see. A little bit of a pike on that landing, chest down. Couple deductions there that the judges will take.
Megan Skaggs, the sophomore from Marietta, Georgia, 2018 all-freshman SEC team.
Beautiful execution of a skill that I don't typically love. It's hard to make that turn look beautiful. She did a great job with it. Fought for that landing, just chest is down.
Emma Slappy, the junior from Jacksonville, Florida, who's actually in grad school. She graduated in the summer of 2018 in conditioning and performance. And now she is leading off Auburn on floor. This is an event where they could use some better scores to improve their rankings nationally. They're only 36 in the country on this event.
And those big scores come from all 3 passes have to show difficulty and control on the landing. Auburn has gotten so much better at performing these routines. Much more expressive dance, better choreography. The judges are looking for those shapes in the air on those leaps. You want to look like you've taken flight and then show off that crystal clear position in the air. Third pass. Sometimes the trend is to actually build in difficulty and finish the routine with a more difficult pass. There's that double back in tuck position. We'll see some do it in pipe, which is a little bit more difficult. Love the way she performed that routine. Now, as I mentioned, the judges are looking for, in these leaps, the difficulty, of course, but also the shape, how they get into the leaps. Pointed toes. She does a nice job. She should have landed that leap, that jump, with her feet together, however. And they're looking for at least head high on these tumbling passes and feet together on the landing and a controlled step into the line.
Amelia Hunley will be up for Florida on the beam. Megan Skaggs led them off with a strong 9.85.
Now, I know Amelia wants to come back strong. That vault she was not happy with. Came back well on the uneven bars. And this is an event where she is so composed. She's fiercely competitive. off these positions in front aerial to a Sisson, dances right out of it. This year they really want to see a better pace of balance beam, not those stops and pausing to concentrate. So you want to keep the arms moving constantly, just like that, right into the series back handspring layout. Well done. She moves right out of it too. Very confident. Any leap that turns in the air, whether it be a quarter, half, or a three-quarter turn, is more difficult, and then they still have to show that shape in the air. Dismount is a back with a 1.5 twist. Oh, she was a little stiff-legged, kind of anticipated the stick just a quarter of a second too soon.
Last year, she earned the Gators Gymnastics Most Consistent and Heart and Soul Award.
Judges are looking for full split on that layout, high amplitude. Check this out. This is a turning leap with a quarter turn, switch side, kept the toes pointed, showed off that straddle split with the feet up high near her shoulders.
What polish from the 4-time All-American from Ohio. Skylar Shepard, the junior now from Plano, Texas.
Now, we don't often get to see a triple twist on floor, and when we do, it's so exciting. Technically, it's a very difficult skill. It's an E-rated skill. It comes up right here. 1, 2, 3. Little leg cross, but great landing.
Of course, the last time we saw a triple full that good was down here. Alex McMurtry, of course, who's now a graduate of Florida, did a magnificent triple full, but they're really rare in collegiate competition, and one done that well.
One thing she has to work on, she sickles her ankles just a little bit, so on those poses, that ankle rolls out to the side, and she turns her feet in. These are little things. Gorgeous position on those leaps. That's beautiful. Nice high toe releve there.
Talk about a gymnastics family. Her older sister was a gymnast at Michigan. Her older brother currently on the team at Stanford. And she herself went to Woga in Texas, of course, which produced Olympic champions like Nastia Lukin, Harley Patterson.
Back, 1.5 to front layout. Eyeballs on her toenails, I think. She saw that line. Boy, my two favorite parts of this routine. That first pass, of course, the triple twist. The only little flaw in it, and it's hard to see unless you know what you're looking for, but the feet are crossed in the air. She really needs to try to keep those together, and that's hard to do on a triple twist. And look at the position of the air. Full split, they're looking for that, and landing with the feet together and getting them all the way around to get credit.
She was coming up after Emma Slappy had a 9.85. We go back down to beam now. Alicia Boren. There was a 9.85 for Megan Skaggs to lead them off. Amelia Hundley at 9.8.
Now, Alicia had a fall last weekend. She fell on her back handspring. Way up tight. There's that front toss. Really well done. Love to see the confident pace of this routine. There's a lot of difficulty. Here's that series. Back handspring layout, step out. Well done this time. I love that it traveled so well across the beam. Pretty good position in those leaps. Could have been a little bit more split, but she showed really good form in terms of straight legs, pointed toes. There's a cat leap right into a layout step up. Notice she goes above and beyond in terms of difficulty. She goes extra skills. Nice cover there, add a little quarter turn to show absolutely no balance break. And the dismount cartwheel gainer full. One of the best routines she's done.
She had a 9.925 on vault, a 9.85 on bars. Expect a good score there for Alicia Boren. Monday, our next SEC Inside gives you an all-access pass to Kentucky and Auburn basketball, or never-before-seen footage and sound from the season so far. inside the Wildcats at 9 Eastern. Then it's the Tigers right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Getting a couple of notes from Jenny Rowland as we go back now to floor for Auburn. Drew Watson coming after Skylar Shepard, notched a 9.875.
Now this routine they describe as fierce and saucy. But before she gets down to business with the choreography, check this out, Arabian double front. Not easy to land. Does pretty well and stays in bounds. They'll get a little bit in terms of a little open in that tuck position and a slightly large step on the landing. Nice form on the double back, just a large step in the lunge.
So far, she's notched 2 9.875s today on vault and bars. She's doing the all-around along with Darian Goburn.
You can tell in that choreography she's thinking about her tumbling pass. It's a hard thing to do. You got to really keep dancing, keep performing as you concentrate. Back 1.5. Manages to stay in bounds on the second skill. Like to see her hold that ending pose just a little longer to really cap off the performance. This Arabian double front, it's complicated and it's an E skill. Half turn here, double front, she rushes it off the floor. She's kind of turning as she blocks. You gotta really set it up, then turn, then flip.
Rachel Gowie will be set to go on the beam now. Alicia Boren had a 9.9 season high for her. So Boren has a 9.925, a 9.85, and a 9.9 so far in her all-around effort.
Rachel Gowie has such beautiful work on balance beam, and this routine is really evolving into one of the best routines in the country.
She's even modifying her routine here in 2019 as a junior.
Beautiful position. Those are your full splits on the switch leap to the side, to the split jump. Triple series here, back handspring to 2 layouts, one of the most difficult series being done on beam. And it is solid as can be. Love that she looks out, away from the balance beam, takes those eyes off the beam. Front aerial, nice adjustment. You would never know that she was even making one. She's so cool. Very nuanced correction, so you give nothing away.
That's really the mark of a great balance beam worker, is finessing those minor adjustments.
It's like riding a bike. You want to keep moving because that's how you'll keep your balance. You can make those tiny little corrections as you go. I think really only somebody who works beam would see that because I could tell, but look at those beautiful positions. You got to go beyond, and I love the hyperextension in her leg to show off the straight leg and the toe point that actually comes from the knee. And check that out, solid as can be on a very difficult series.
Rachel Gowie was 11th in the all-around at the 2016 Olympic trials. Quite a great all-around athlete. All right, Darian Goburn. Drew Watson before her, a 9.825. This is a routine we've been looking forward to, Kathy.
Absolutely. She lights it up. And when she cleans up a little bit of the footwork in the choreography, this will be spectacular. Check that out. Full in. And she just loves playing the diva. But watch me. I think her quote was, "It's not what you do, it is how you do it." Needs to land those jumps with her feet together.
She said she loves fashion, wants to be a model, and she's certainly not afraid of the spotlight, is she?
Well, I'd like her to feel like she's in stiletto heels here and really get up on those toes and get those ankles tight. Has so much good in this routine. The tumbling is well done. The sassitude is there. It matches the music and the choreography. And in dance like that, that's fine to have flat feet. It's supposed to. It's part of the choreography. It's the style of the dance. But when you need those good feet and ankles and toes, you got to show them. They can't be turned in or sickled. Big finish, pike double back. Boom, right to the end position. Good for her. So plenty of difficulty in this routine. A double back with a full twist to open it. Just a little side hop there. Such a tiny little detail. Good height. Nice chest position on the landing. Strong finish.
Trinity Thomas now for Florida on beam, coming after the second 9-9 in a row. This one for Rachel Dowie.
Watch the nuances in this routine, how she just slid the hand down the beam. So fluid with her movement, not just with the arms, but even with the torso, and then shows off a gorgeous position in the air, as if it took flight.
One of the few athletes that's a current U.S. national team member while she's competing in collegiate gymnastics.
One arm back handspring to lay out step. I love it. She changed the arm position for the landing to just make that slight adjustment, so gave away nothing in terms of balance break.
Gymnastics enthusiasts know that the rules in college gymnastics are dramatically different from elite gymnastics, and the fact that she can keep both of those pursuits going is remarkable.
I've seen 3 covers so far that were perfectly choreographed into the routine for no deduction. Double twist. Really tried hard to really distract us from the fact that her feet slid a little bit on the landing because she gets her chest up.
As we talked at the top of the show, two of the electrifying freshmen in collegiate gymnastics. Darian Goburn just finished up her floor. You see her stats there. And that was Trinity Thomas on the beam for Florida. Already contributing to these outstanding teams, and they're just freshmen. Abby Millay now. Redshirt senior from Denton, Texas.
And Abby will showcase a lot of just precise perfection in her positions. Beautiful battement, nice high kick, gorgeous ring position in the air, perfectly pointed toes. Oh, I love that skill right there, just down to the floor, shows off the flexibility.
He was an elite gymnast for 6 years in the Dallas suburban area. Just missed a spot in the 2012 Olympic team, but you see that elite polish, Kathy.
And I also saw she found her camera. They are really learning how to perform, not just to the audience in the arena, great landing on that, but to the television audience at home. Fun finish, great flexibility.
Wow.
That is superb choreography to show off all that she does well.
Abby Millay.
Look at this beautiful position. Ring, head goes back, toe goes toward the head. Showing difficulty there.
And a terrific crowd, season high, 9,055 on hand. It's the 9th largest crowd ever here in the O-Dome to see the Florida Gators gymnastics program. Terrific night of gymnastics with these two teams, the only two teams unbeaten in the SEC. Florida on the beam now with Alyssa Bauman. Trinity Thomas had a 9.875.
And both teams are really putting on a show for this crowd. Feeding off the energy, feeding off of each other. Alyssa is so beautiful on this event. Great difficulty, the Anodi. She had to adjust for a balance break there. Her acrobatic series here, back handspring out, step out. Love the finishing touches down to the little wrist flicks. Nice back leg on those leaps. A very difficult switch half she does easily.
Alyssa Bowman is a world champion from the U.S., competed in the Worlds in 2014 in China.
She added that skill this year, the side aerial. This is someone who has so many skills to choose from on beam. She can even connect some of these skills and really show off some spectacular difficulty. 1.5 twist. Finds the landing. Well done.
The sophomore from Dallas, Texas, did her club training at Woga, earned a spot in the 2016 Olympic trials, but had to pull out because of an elbow injury. But she is contributing greatly here to the Gators. AUB Malay had a spectacular 9.925 on that floor routine for exhibiting such polish. Let's see what Gracie Day can do here now for Auburn in the anchor spot.
Well, I can give you a hint. She has a flair for the dramatic. And you can tell she likes telling a story with movement.
Let's go, G! Let's go, Gracie!
She has extraordinary musicality.
Come on, G!
So the inspiration for this floor routine is the horror movie The Grudge.
Double Arabian, she's got the difficulty here as well.
Oh,
Very nicely controlled landing on a difficult tumbling pass. Top double back. I love the moment she lands, she's already back into the heartbeat of this music and her routine. I mean, you can feel it breathe. Wow, very few routines can take you on this kind of a ride, especially one that's like horror, except it's unbelievable.
that was special. Gracie Day, the junior from San Antonio, back in the lineup for the first time since January 4th, the first meet of the season.
Loved all of this. And that double Arabian, she worked so hard to get that landing. Good for her.
And AUB Malay has had a great performance on the floor. Her score, a 9.925, a highlight for the Tigers in the third rotation. When we come back, they'll move to the beam, and Florida will go to the floor. Final rotation. Auburn goes to the beam. That means Drew Watson in the leadoff spot. We'll start them off. Florida will be on floor in this final rotation. There is the lineup for the Auburn Tigers on beam.
And though their highest ranking is on bars, ranked 7th or 13th on beam, I actually think this is an event that can be their best.
They're coming off a season high on floor, a 49.45. So they're doing a great job away at Florida tonight.
Those extra arm circles and the break in the hips. Those are all deductions for balance break. They look just a little excited right now. They need to calm down because this is an event. You have to be aggressive but also calm. Contain all those nerves and energy. Focus it. Another little break there. Long dismount, 1.5 twist. I like that she was aggressive. So the mistakes weren't because she was holding back or nerves, just trying to go big and couldn't quite follow through and finish.
It's interesting that their head coach Jeff Graver told us the other day, he said, the good thing is we have 18 gymnasts training beam, but the bad thing is we have 18
Yes.
gymnasts training beam.
How do you get
no
a
one
lineup?
really stepped up.
Right.
Savannah Shane here, the freshman from Columbus, Georgia. This is her first competition for the Gators on the floor.
And I'm really excited to see this routine. Listen to the music. It has a dark feel, very dramatic. Look at the toe point. Absolutely beautiful.
Coach Jenny Rowland said it took some convincing to get her to do a music this dark and this dramatic.
Nice, high, double pike. Well, it's hard only because you're on a college campus and everybody's doing the hip-hop routine, so the temptation is to do a beautiful job on those leaps, by the way. And it's so refreshing to see the different pieces of choreography. Jeremy Miranda comes from a dance and a theater background. He's done all the choreographies, the volunteer coach. Look at the high releve on those positions.
Shane here did an exhibition last week when Florida went to #1 Oklahoma, so this is her first time in the competitive lineup for a score.
Finishes with a Rudy. That's the weakest of her three passes. Gorgeous position up on top of her toes. Beautiful flexibility. Wow. Love the performance. I love that routine. She opened with a pike double back. She doesn't have the big E pass, but what she makes up for is in the choreography and the presentation of this routine. Nice feet going into the run for the leap, and the shape, the beautiful position in the air, extraordinary.
Big congratulations from Jenny Rowland. Darianne Goburn now coming after Drew Watson was a little bit shaky with that 9.725. These two teams separated by less than a half a point coming into this final rotation.
Lines this up. You can really see how they have to line the hips, shoulders, and keep that torso right over the beam as they travel the length. Full turn, that's a requirement. Often a choke move. You can see them get tight in the face going into those skills.
Talking to Jeff Graber the other day about Darianne Goburn, and he said, she's one of those gymnasts that kind of developed late. And he said when coaches are doing recruiting of these young ladies so early, sometimes you miss somebody like this who flies a little under the radar. She has great potential.
And she'll continue to get better. There are things that she can work on. The polish gets a little more development of the feet and the ankles. Really finish that polish up right there, that front leg in the cat leap. That will be a deduction, or should be, I should say. Needed to get the knee up, bend the leg, and really keep those toes pointed. The acro series is very nicely done. Nice finish position. Need to get that front leg a little higher before the switch on the leap, but nice straddle position in the air. Just needs to turn it a little bit more before she comes down. She did not want to take her eyes off that beam.
Amelia Hunley set to go now for Florida. 9.85 was the leadoff score for Savannah Shane here in her first time ever in the lineup for Florida on the floor.
Amelia has a strong sense of music. Really hits those strong notes with emphasis. Increase the level of difficulty of that pass by doing the whip back to the double back. High double back. Ooh, big hop back. Beautiful job on those leaps and right into the Shushanova, that drop to prone position on the floor.
Not a bad all-around tonight. She was a little low in her landing on vault, only a 9.65, but then she came back with a great 9.9 on bars and a 9.8 on beam. One of 3 all-arounders competing for the Gators tonight, along with Alicia Bohr and Trinity Thomas.
Back 1.5, front layup, a little bit low on that second element, but solid routine.
Skylar Shepard set to go. Darian Goburn a 9.8. So the 2 scores for Auburn, and they're trailing. We're 9.725 and a 9.8. So this is an event where Auburn is ranked 13th in the country. Their season high is a 49.25.
Skylar Shepard can do a round-off layout, Matt. I would love to see it. Understand why you might not want to take that risk. Nice footwork there. I love that she really shows off that high arch in those poses. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I think she's going to have to repeat that because that would have been her acro series. She'll have to get moving so she's not over time. Oh, lifted the foot. Nice cover, though. I will say that was a very clever cover.
She says beam is her favorite event. It's the one she's most confident on.
Point that front toe at the pitch kick when it's right in front of you.
She's a senior. She was at Arizona and transferred to Auburn.
That makes a beautiful switch side. A little rushed going into that full turn. That's the only place that really didn't flow. Everything else, she has nice arm flow, movement. And the dismount, a back handspring, 1.5 twist, good landing. She's a good twister, as you can tell. Remember, she did the triple twist on floor. Has to work a little bit on maintaining that toe point throughout all of her skills. But a lot of nice things in that routine as well.
Nia Reed, 6th in the NCAA on this event. Coming after Amelia Hunley had a 9.875, the freshman from Landover, Maryland.
I'd call that a strut. That's a watch me. Big open, double layout.
Wow.
Really nice control.
Florida fans will remember, of course, Kennedy Baker. And Coach Jenny Rowland said, she's the gymnast on my team that comes closest to Kennedy in terms of sass on floor.
I think that was a Kennedy Baker make it rain moment, too. Looked like her feet slipped just a little bit on the landing. I don't think that was really a deduction, just unusual. But layout to Rudy. Big finish, pike double back.
Freshman Nia Reed. Big tumbling, a huge double layout, Kathy.
Love the way she attacked this. Showed off that layout position. Good rotation. And then sass it up. with a little help from her friends.
Did her club training at Capital Gymnastics that has produced so many elite national team members up there in Maryland. We go back to beam now. Taylor Krippner. Skylar Shepard had a 9-7. The judges hit her for that do-over on the leap series and some of the execution errors as well.
Taylor immediately showed off her beautiful straddle flexibility on that mount. She loves this event. Love the way she moves in and out of the value parts. The skills that are actually earning her bonus points, and the judges are paying close attention to. That's her favorite skill.
My
Too
goodness.
bad. Her front aerial to her scale. It's very difficult. It's almost rare now to see a fall on beam. These athletes are so well prepared. You might see minor mistakes. Love that she hopped right back up, showed us gorgeous leaps, gave away a little bit more on the balance after the second leap. Nice routine. Unfortunate fall and 0.5 of a point there, but a lot of good stuff in that routine.
The senior from Cypress, Texas, did part of her club training at Simone Biles' gym, the World Champions Center. Coming up next, we'll take you to Lexington for the second meet of our Friday night doubleheader. It's number 5 LSU squaring off against number 17 Kentucky. And that young lady there, Molly Korth, is going to be a great continuation of Friday Night Heights. You're going to want to stick with us on the SEC Network when we wrap it up here from Gainesville. Alicia Boren has scored 9.925 on vault, 9.85 on bars, 9.9 on beam, and this is always a highlight, Kathy. Let's see what she can deliver on floor.
She has a tremendous all-around performance going.
A 9.8 or better to take the lead in the all-around tonight.
Big double layout.
Nia Reed before her had a 9.925.
Back 1.5 to front layups. Love the amplitude on that. A lot of the front tumbling passes are too low in my opinion.
Remember when she came in her freshman year here at Florida, she was almost painfully shy.
She wouldn't smile, not in a floor routine. That just didn't happen. And now she knows when to smile and when to give a little bit of attitude.
There's over 9,000 here in the O-Dome tonight that know what to expect from this young lady. What a career she's had for the Gators.
This will be a big score if she nails this landing.
Oh, so high!
Perfectly stuck. Really nice. Yeah, brush off those shoulders. You got this.
The height on that final tumbling run was ridiculous. Wow.
So many memorable parts of this routine, both in the choreography and awesome tumbling passes, double layout. And as you said, how big is this tuck double back? Look at the lift. You could see her get those arms up, pause for a photo up there, and then flip it around twice.
That's hard to do at the end of the routine. They're booing because it's a 9.95 and the crowd wanted more.
Well, that's a big score. So.
Abby Millay under a little pressure here now because Taylor Krippner's score is in. It's only a 9-1 after that fall. So big pressure here on Auburn. Remember, they trailed by a half a point coming into this final rotation.
Really nice work so far. And what you have to do in this situation, you can't try to do more, too much. You need to be normal, trust your training, be aggressive but calm, and don't get ahead of yourself.
I love what she says. Beam is her favorite event. He said because it's only 4 inches wide, and it's just hard to stand on.
Love those positions. Really nicely done. Oh, and the look away is perfectly timed right at the judge. Oh no, little bitty adjustment on the landing. And when I said, oh no, that's not a big deal, it was just so perfect up to that point. These were blimp-worthy, or I guess I should say gasp-worthy. Really nicely done. That sheep jump is so hard to do and to make it look pretty. Just that little adjustment on the landing.
So the score is in for Alicia Boren, 9.95. That brings up Trinity Thomas. Look at that average in 9.931, but she also needs a 9.925 to win the all-around over Alicia Boren, and she can do it here, Kathy.
Absolutely. She is the complete package. She has it all. Arm movement, the wrist and hand, the perfectly timed look over the shoulder. It's just beautiful. Double layout, excellent. I think she was smiling in the air. So flirty and fun.
17 years old. She won't turn 18 even till the spring of this year. Entered Florida early, graduated high school early in order to come here.
And of course the leaps are gorgeous in the air, but what was beautiful? Those little steps into it. Toes pointed on every step. Gorgeous flexibility. Find your camera, give us a look.
Plus for a 17-year-old, she has a look on her face that says, I got this. Oh my. Oh!
And my favorite part, that butterfly into the ending pose, is to die for.
Remember, a 9.925 would win the all-around over her teammate Alicia Boren, who had a great night. Trinity Thomas, the freshman, set up for a big score, Kathy.
Soak it in, folks. This was a complete performance with difficulty, elegance even, with that power on that tumbling pass. Elevation.
The score is in. The crowd wanted a 10, but it's a 9.975. She will win the all-around.
So someone gave her a 10.
Florida will win the meet. But Meredith Sylvia from Auburn, the sophomore from Pennsylvania, will be the final performer to go in this fourth rotation.
And she wants to win this routine right here. This is the cool thing about gymnastics. It's so much about personal best, doing your absolute best in a challenging situation. Love that full twisting swing down.
She said it's her favorite skill on beam because the audience usually gasps when they see it.
I did.
Imagine she's only doing beam and she's the final performer in the entire meet for Auburn. So all night long she's been sitting on the sidelines waiting to do this routine.
And a more unusual combination of those leaps. Love the look out to the side. Love the toe point. The precision was spot on. Good for her. And the college stick. That arched back position hurts me every time.
But an important score because they're replacing the 9-1 from Taylor Krippner, Kathy.
Absolutely. This was clutch.
So Auburn will not win this meet, but they will notch an impressive away score. At this point, it's all academic. You see Florida score 197.775, and so it's a encore performance. Alyssa Bowman now.
Did you see the wink? I wonder if that means she's going to do her double layout. She warmed it up. Maybe they'll unleash it here. They've already won the meet. It may be the perfect opportunity. I just don't know. Nope, double tuck. Still playing it conservative. Nice landing. Eventually that will be a double layout.
Florida already has a season high on vault tonight, and 9-9 or better for Alyssa Bowman would give them a season high on floor.
Back 1.5 to front full. She usually dances right out of that, but she stuck it, so it's like, okay, I think I'll just stand here and show that I have control on 2 feet. Switch half to a Copa, really nicely done. Beautiful pipe double back. Hard to find deductions in this routine. You can rarely find her in a position where her toes aren't pointed, the posture isn't good. The little finishing touches are there when she upgrades to the double layout. This would be a big routine for Florida. Watch this, back 1.5, front with a full, legs were slightly staggered on the landing. Nice form in the double back. Good rotation for Florida.
And a nice job in front of more than 9,000 people on the Link to Pink night here in Gainesville. Florida will get the win. We'll have more when we come back. Florida will remain undefeated in the conference. Auburn, their first loss in the SEC this season.